Welcome to ThinkFit's Fit Thinking podcast video cast thing we've been doing with some of our amazing clients. So the idea behind this is to introduce you to people like Sal. Welcome, Sal.
Hi.
Who are just absolute go-getters who are changing their life, and they probably weren't too different from you at some point. So Sal, just so people understand a little bit about you, what do you do for work, and like what was your life before ThinkFit like?
That's a really complex question, but it shouldn't be. But right now, I actually work in the disability and aged care sector. I work for a company called AFIA. I'm only 3 months in, and it's quite rewarding and definitely a lot of meaningful purpose, definitely. Yep. Prior to joining ThinkFit, however, I had been in the travel industry for 25 years. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So when I joined ThinkFit back in October of 2020. And so I had been through the February through to October of, the what was a chaotic world for travel.
Yeah.
And stuck with travel. I lost my job in February of this year. So I lasted all that time. So I did pretty much a full year of travel during COVID. But I joined ThinkFit in October of last year. Yeah,
awesome. And I heard rumors of you being an amazing person at what you did. My cousin was like super excited when she saw your name pop up. Like, oh my God, she's like amazing. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
I was actually doing I remember this time actually, I was doing a Saturday class, and I think her and Nicole Wright actually came, and they must have been doing a 7 or a 7:30, and I could see these people looking at me. And I was looking at them going, shit, I know those girls. I really know those girls. They've got to be from Flight Centre. And we just hung around then and then just realised, but Elise had mentioned it to me as well. I just hadn't clicked. So it was a great company to work for. I had an absolute ball.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess you got to us after the lockdowns then. So we're running through a lockdown at the moment with you. You're one of our definitely keenest, most active people at the moment, which is fantastic. Were you always like this with health and fitness, or is it like a new thing to you?
I reckon it was up and down. Like I'd have my fads, like I think I've, like any female, done all the different shake diets and all this other stuff and everything, and think I'd just gone on a mission and then I just lose it. I don't think I've definitely not been this focused and obsessed. I actually would absolutely say right now I'm obsessed. It's actually not a hobby. Like I'm actually obsessed with it. But it's a good obsessed as well. So look, no, I think that there was always a distraction in the past. There was always something more shinier and better to do, because I was traveling heaps. I had an amazing job. The community and the company that I worked for just fed all of my needs. And I was thriving. So I guess the fitness always went to the side. I didn't find the time because there were other shiny things, or there were other things that actually I wanted to do that were more important. And so I guess I came to a stage where when I didn't have all of those things, the company, wasn't doing well. Obviously, we weren't traveling, and, it completely flipped on its head. Then I guess all of a sudden it was like, okay, I've got to do something to feed all this pent up energy, I guess, that I had. Because I've always had a lot of energy. I've always been quite productive. And so there were definitely traits. It was just what I put it into it. And so I think in hindsight, the whole COVID thing was the silver lining for me, was that I got into this.
Yeah. And you've absolutely blown it away. I mean, you're definitely like me in a sense. I've done a little bit of epigenetics training lately. And when you struggle to find growth in another area, you either self-sabotage or you go on another path and just absolutely blitz it. So it's definitely what you're doing. So the turning point, COVID, everyone's so many different opinions about it and everything, but you can make something out of it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And I had already reached out, like I think when I reached out to Elise in October, she'd already had me on file. I think I'd connected it at some other point in time. And the reason, I'd always traveled. So I'd worked in North Sydney and Bondi, and I just wasn't a local worker. Yeah. And so, anything local was just not going to work for me. And so, yeah, no, it literally was a godsend, because then I could just focus on, it's just focusing on something that I could control. I could not control anything more with work anymore. Everything was just completely out of my spectrum. And I just needed to jump into something that I could take control of.
I absolutely love that. And that's something I'm preaching constantly lately. The control you have over your body and your mind is something that everyone needs to tune back into, because that's where they lose it. They keep focusing on these external things. Yeah. So I guess that's one of the biggest improvements outside of weight loss. Like, how much weight have you lost in the last 6-10 months?
So I actually started, prior to joining ThinkFit, I had actually already sort of made the decision to lose weight, I guess. And so I'd actually lost, like, since October 2019, I've lost 30 kilos.
Wow. Yeah.
So when I joined you guys, I reckon since I've joined you guys, I've probably lost about 12.
That's still massive.
Maybe 10, 11 kilos. Yeah. So it hasn't been a massive lot. I'd probably say I'd really sort of changed that mindset around food and habits prior to me coming to or finding you guys again. So for me, sorry, I've gone off track what that question was.
No, you're right. So basically mindset has been one of the biggest things for you then.
Yeah.
So you're already on the path. What did we help you do that makes it feel like this is a constant thing? Like that obsession, which isn't a problem because it's well directed and it's still lifestyle based.
Yeah. So look, I think what happened here was I definitely plateaued. So I would definitely say that what I was sort of doing was getting up and like I'd probably I was definitely walking anywhere from 15 to 17 Ks a day, and I'd jog a bit of that or whatever. So I was getting a bit bored with what I was doing, I guess. And also I found I wasn't toning. So I had no definition to myself. If I could use that word. And I guess I was also missing from the work aspect, just a community or a group of people, I guess, that were like-minded, who were wanting the same things, that could push each other. And I definitely have a competitive streak in me, not to win it all, but for someone else to push me to do better.
Yeah, and you encourage that with people around you constantly. I know everyone's trying to keep up with you and you're trying to keep up with them, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so that helped.
Yeah, awesome. When before you made that decision to lose the weight and get on that path, what was one of the biggest obstacles outside of work that you kind of found? Or was it just work?
Look, I love food.
Yeah.
And so there were definitely the mindset, like I went, normally I went to food. Like if I wanted to feel good, I would absolutely go for food. And so that was a massive, big mindset, is that I can actually I can use something else to feed this. So I don't have to go to food. And it's a better consequence as opposed to what food was for me. So I think that, food was definitely a big thing that I had to, more so than anything else, and I still need to do that. Like there are areas that I'm still not happy with, that I want to target, and I know that it's actually more about food than it's about my exercise.
How do you overcome those initial obstacles with food?
Okay, so I don't buy them. I purposely don't walk past certain aisles in a supermarket.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
You've got to eliminate the temptation.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's got to go. And even to the point where I would travel. This is going to sound so ridiculous, but I would travel an extra 10 minutes to get somewhere if I could avoid a Macca's.
Wow, that's incredible choices. So
I would go, you know what? I'm not driving past there because I know what I'll do. Like that's how bad in my mind I was getting, that I literally would go and I would justify, no, but it's just one. It's just one. Yeah.
I think you speak to a lot of people with that. It's actually, it's incredible. I mean, Kelly would hate me to say this, but I never shopped between the aisles up and down. And then since we've been with Kelly, we've gone up and down aisles, and I buy stuff I've never would have bought before, because I used to just go in, get my 12 items and straight out.
Yeah.
So that the decision fatigue you said that you struggle with, you've kind of just eliminated it by removing those paths.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it makes so much sense, and it's so valuable for people to hear and understand that. I guess that would be one great piece of advice for you in the past, but what do you have anything else that you wish you would have told yourself earlier about starting a health and fitness
Heaps of
journey?
stuff. Like I mean, yeah, like I definitely feel like I'm the oldie in the gym, like, or one of the oldies. Okay. And I am, it's okay to say it.
I think the older people are the fittest. I think you're putting everyone on show.
I don't know. I had a bit of a fisticuff Nelly with Jamal the other day because he threw out an age that was older than what I was. So I really took that to heart. But I sort of looked at, I think if I look at all these really young people, and most of them I could be their mum, okay, that's how young they are or how old I am, however you want to look at that. But I just look at them and go, far out. Like, if I had, you know, I suppose what I would say to myself is, why don't I do it sooner? And I think that goes with anything. A lot of people sort of say that, but you know, I also had, you know, I dedicated different parts of my life to different things back then, you know what I mean? And it just wasn't a priority, I guess. So I guess, you know, what I would say, I'd probably say just have the balance. You can still have a great job and still work really hard and get pleasure from that. You just have to carve out, you know, some time. And I wasn't carving any time out for that.
Time and bullshit. But I do think one of the things that people don't realize, like you said earlier, is travel. Travel is like a killer. Like, I don't think people realize how much of their life they're wasting in travel to get a job that they're paying a fortune to travel to in time and money.
Yeah.
When they could find something that would fulfill their needs closer and fulfill their life. I know personally, I had to move back to Minchinbury from Marsden Park because I was losing an hour and a half a day traveling. And I'm like, that should be 20 minutes down the road, but it never is.
Never.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that. That's vital advice for anyone, you know. You've answered all the questions amazingly. I guess, what are your goals moving forward?
Okay. Well, I definitely haven't. I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface, Josh. I really do. And I think it's because I'm making sure that I hang around. When I say hang around, I'm definitely like making sure that the people that are around me are the ones that are definitely going to push me, or, you know, also motivate me, you know, and I'm doing that. And just developing some really great friendships while doing that as well. So that's definitely a goal, to keep that up. I definitely feel like I want to tone a lot more, and there's definitely areas, you know, of my body that I'm still not, you know, happy with, and potentially a bit obsessed, but you know, I'll work through that. That'll take a while to do that. This is a really weird.
I'll send you a resource afterwards. It's called The Cost of Getting Lean, and it just might put some things into perspective.
Yeah, cool.
Because Elisa's over here shouting out constantly, "You look great." So.
Yeah, and look, the other thing which is really weird is I've always wanted to beat my son in an arm wrestle. So he is turning 16 next week. It's one of my sons, and he's a baseballer and he's a catcher. So that's even freaking harder. Footballer. And yeah, I thought I was getting there, Josh. And then my kids always laugh at me, and I'm okay with that. But I tried it the other day and I just had nothing. And then I just went, shit, I don't know whether this is a really realistic goal or not. So I would love to be able to do that. But hey, that's probably just something fun, I guess.
Trivial things, but that's what life becomes once you remove the thought that health, fitness, strength has to be number based. You know, it's like, what can I get out of life? And whether it is trivial, who cares? It's like, it's allowing you to do rather than being fearful of so many things. Last two questions. So it's kind of similar but different. What is ThinkFit HQ to you? And the other is, what is Thinking Fit, the mindset? What would that mean to you?
Cool. Well, the community itself, I just feel like they're a part of my life now. Like, they're just a part of the daily, like, routine that's exciting. I was freaking out when we started having all these restrictions. It's the first thing I went to, what is going to happen here? And obviously, as you know, because I wasn't part of it last year, I really didn't know what was going to happen. And I guess I was so grateful for the car park, and then now just the same timetable of Zooms, and I can go wherever and do that. So look, for me, it's the caring, the going above and beyond. They're always trying to think outside the square and trying to just keep up with everything that's happening in the world. But I think it's more than a gym. I think I've said this before in one of my clips before. It's not, I don't see it as a gym, because you guys know everyone's names, what they're doing, where they've been. Like this, it's just a real family. Yeah. So that family feel is really important. So that's what the ThinkFit community means to me. And that goes down to all the members as well, and all the great friendships and laughs and all that, and all the coaches, of course. From a ThinkFit perspective, I definitely, believe that, you throw out to the universe like what you want, and if you're already in that mindset of what you want and you're acting that way, then it will come back at you, and it will come back tenfold. Yep. So I think the best way to describe, or the way I think about that ThinkFit, is if it's a great way to be talking and thinking all the time, because whether you're there or not, and in my eyes, I'm not even there. So I'm just keep on thinking it there, and eventually I'll get to a place where I'm like, shit, how did I get to this place? So I think it's just mind over matter. The mind is such a powerful thing, and it can steer you on the best journey, but can also derail you completely if you can't, get some control over it. So I think it's quite a powerful brand, to be honest with you. Yeah,
I love that. Thank you so much. It pretty much encapsulates what we're doing. Our slogan with that, as well, as become what you think. So you're right, if you're constantly on that train of thought, we actually have a reticular activating system, which I'm sure you know plenty about. It gets you there, that manifestation stuff. There's actually a science to it, and you're living and breathing it. So thank you for embracing it. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for sharing it, showing it. Hopefully this video inspires people to adopt it, become part of the family. But yeah, that's it for now. I thank you so much for your time. It's always great. Really appreciate all your feedback and everything you do around here. But yeah, we'll say goodbye, and then I'll have a quick chat to you.
Cool. Thanks, Josh. Bye.